Hello everyone, it's Becca from Becca Books and Bujo, and today we are talking about all of the books I hauled and unhauled in the month of July. I recently decided I wanted to restructure how I do my hauls on my channel. I would now like to haul books every single month and also share with you the books I am getting off of my shelves in the month. I figure that this will hold me accountable to what I am bringing onto my shelves and also make me more cognizant of what I would like to get rid of, because sometimes if I finish a book, I'll just put it on the shelves and I might not want to keep it on my shelves. So that's what this new series is going to be. I've heard people call it an in and out. I might call it that too. So this is my July in and out. We are going to start with the books that I am unhauling. So the ones I'm getting out of here. And we're starting with kind of a big set of books here. This is a series of 6 books. And it's one that I have had trouble with in the past. It's enjoyable, but it's not one I ever want to reach for. So I am talking about the Land of Stories series by Chris Colfer. The first is The Wishing Spell. Then I also have The Enchantress Returns. These two I have read, and I think I gave them like 3.5 or 4 stars, but they were just fine. Like, it's a cool fantasy series, or fairy tale retellings, but they're definitely for middle graders, and just not any that I would like to continue to read in the future. If my kids want to read them, they're very widely available, so we could get them from the library if that is something that they want. But this series is just taking up a lot of valuable shelf space. So I'm also getting rid of A Grim Warning, which is book 3. We also have Beyond the Kingdoms, book 4. Book 5 is An Author's Odyssey. And lastly, book 6 is Worlds Collide. So these 6 will hopefully go to a new home for somebody who really, really wants them and loves them. A book that I read in July and no longer want on my shelves is The Making of Another Major Motion Picture Masterpiece by Tom Hanks. This book I originally borrowed from my parents, but they told me they no longer want it back, so I will get rid of it for them. This was a really mediocre story about all of the people who help in the making of a movie, and I just didn't like it. So that's going away. This one I just hauled in my last book haul, but this is When the Wind Blows by Zachary Allen Fox. I took a gamble at my library book sale and got one of those blind date with a books, and I don't have any interest in reading this one, unfortunately, so it is going in the out pile. This last set of books are all young adult books that I just don't feel like I would ever read again or want to read in the first place. So the first is This Is What Happy Looks Like by Jennifer E. Smith. This was a fine story, but it is not one that I want to return to. I have my name stamped in it. I guess at one point I did really like it, but yeah, I'm going to part with this one. I have one book by Jennifer E. Smith that I'm keeping on my shelves. It's called The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight, and that is the first book I remember reading from front to back with no breaks, and so that one just holds nostalgia, I guess, for me, but that one I can get rid of. Then I've got some by Gail Forman. I have read If I Stay and Where She Went by Gail Forman. They were really good when I read them, but definitely YA, and I'm not going to reread them. And then I don't believe I read I Was Here, but I am going to pass this one on. I just saw now that this was for my friend, Rebecca. I might take out this first page because she inscribed it with a really beautiful message. So I'll have to rethink this one, but I don't want to read the book necessarily. I'm just past my YA days, I think. Another one that I don't know much about is Where Things Come Back by John Corey Whaley. It's been on my shelves forever, probably since high school, and I'm just ready to part with it. If you weren't keeping track, that is 13 books that I'm getting off of my shelves in July. I'm going to really be like number heavy in this video because I love that, and I keep track of the amount of books that I own that I haven't read, so we'll also talk about that at the end. But first, let's haul some books. Just a little side note, the books I'm talking about today are really hauled from the second half of July. Before I knew I wanted to do this monthly in and out thing, I did a haul in like mid-July, and that included some books I got in the first half of July. So just a caveat to this first video, I had to start somewhere. And so we're getting the second half of July books. When I report the numbers, I will include all of the books I hauled in July. We'll first talk about the books that were gifted to me. The first was gifted to me from my husband for my birthday. This is The Secret Lives of Booksellers and Librarians, True Stories of the Magic of Reading by James Patterson and Matt Eversman. This is perfect for me because I'm about to start my new job as a librarian. My husband saw it on the shelves of an independent bookstore we were at on our lake trip this summer and thought I would love it, and I'm excited to have it on my shelves. It just sounds like a bunch of stories about real booksellers and librarians and the journeys they have to go on to find books for people. So this is going to be awesome. And then my friend Jane gave me this copy of her ARC that she received. This is The Wedding People by Alison Esbach. And I know that this has gotten a lot of praise lately. It was a book of the month pick. I think Barnes & Noble named it as like a book club pick. And I'm very happy that Jane passed on her copy to me. I'm looking forward to this one. Sounds like a literary fiction dealing with a woman who is having some mental health struggles and how she handles them. I think it'll be hard, but good. Then I got a couple of books at Little Free Libraries. The first I actually already lent out to my parents. It is called Bury Your Dead by Louise Penny. It is in her Inspector Armand Gamache series. I would love to own all these books eventually, so I saw it and I grabbed it for my shelves. The second one is a middle grade that my friend recently told me about. She said it's one of her favorites. So this is Out of My Mind by Sharon M. Draper. It says 11-year-old Melody has a photographic memory. Her head is like a video camera that is always recording, always, and there's no delete button. She's the smartest kid in her whole school, but no one knows it. Most people, her teachers and doctors included, don't think she's capable of learning, and up until recently, her school days consisted of listening to the same preschool-level alphabet lessons again and again and again. If only she could speak up. If only she could tell people what she thinks and knows. But she can't because Melody can't talk. She can't walk. She can't write. Being stuck inside her head is making Melody go out of her mind. That is, until she discovers something that will allow her to speak for the first time ever. At last, Melody has a voice, but not everyone around her is ready to hear it. Oh wow, I had no clue what this was about, but that sounds very powerful, and looking forward to reading this. Then we've got some that I picked up at library book sales. The first is Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. I haven't read anything by this author, but I have Never Let Me Go by him on my shelves. I think that this is my kind of sci-fi, a little bit more contemplative, and yeah, looking forward to having it on my shelves and giving Kazuo Ishiguro a chance. I recently saw this one on lists of like best books of all time, and so I got it. When it was only $2, I had to pick it up. This is Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel, a historical fiction about Henry VIII and his wives. I found a Simone St. James. This is The Broken Girls. I haven't read anything by Simone St. James, but I'm excited to give her a try. I know that Krista from Books and Jams likes her books, and I feel like I get along with Krista's reading tastes in mystery and thrillers, so looking forward to having this one on my shelves. And lastly, I got kind of a more recent release. This is Pineapple Street by Jenny Jackson. I just love the cover. It's so bright and vibrant. It says, a cancel all plans kind of book, utterly addicting, bright-hearted, and affecting. Pineapple Street lets us into an outrageous world of generational wealth and privilege. If I could have put this novel straight into my veins, I would have. That's by Ashley Audrain. That's high praise. But I do love generational stories, and I think I will like this one. My mom read it first before I actually got it on my shelves, and so I think she liked it, and I hope I will too. Lastly in the haul are some books I paid full price for, and very happy that I did because I think they will make me happy. The first I got for my birthday at an independent bookstore, that same one that Willie got me the Booksellers and Librarians book. This is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I've seen this book everywhere, and I really think I could like it. It is basically an adult version of Hunger Games, but set in space. That's what I've seen it marketed as, and I think that fits perfectly. I am really looking forward to trying this one. And lastly, I got a series. There are only 3 books out in this series so far, and I know the 4th is coming out. I also know that this series was just picked up by a publisher, and so I wanted to get the independent published books right away because I wanted to be cool like that. So I got The Kindred's Curse Saga by Pencoll. This is Spark of the Everflame. We've got Glow of the Everflame, and lastly, Heat of the Everflame. I've never done this before on camera, but that's good. That's good flop. Okay, I'm ridiculous. I'm trying to be like the fantasy romance girlies and talk about flop of books, but I'm really excited to have these. I've heard that this is the new Fanro series to enjoy, and I want to give them a try. I bought these with some money I got from exercising on my watch. I've talked about that before, but I'm excited to have these and get started in this saga. So that was about 11 books that I hauled in this video, but earlier in the month I hauled a lot more. So total in July, here I have some graphics. Total in July I hauled 29 books and I unhauled 13 books, which means a net of positive 16 books being added to my shelves. That's okay. I love to have books on my shelves. That also doesn't necessarily mean that they were all unread books. So let's talk about those numbers. I know this is the first you are hearing these numbers, so it doesn't really make sense to compare them to anything in the past, but once we start these in and outs monthly, you'll be able to see what these numbers were in the previous months, and I'll probably update you as to what the number was in the past versus what they were currently. So at the end of July, I had 218 physical books on my unread TBR. I had 54 on my Kindle, and I had 22 books that were borrowed that I have not read. I'm a serial book borrower. I steal people's books and never return them. So I have 22 books on my shelves that aren't actually mine, and it's a priority for me to get them done and give them back to their rightful owners. So those are the 3 categories of books I am going to report on. Like I said, 218 physical, 54 Kindle, and 22 borrowed books, which adds up to 294 books on my shelves that I have not read. Let's see if we can improve next month or not. So let me know if you like this style of in and out for hauls and unhauls for the month. Let me know if I should structure it differently, if I should do the haul first and unhaul second, whatever. Let me know what you think. It'd be great to have some discussion with you down below. Also, let me know which of the books I hauled I should start with and give a valid reason as to why, because I feel like I could start with any of these and be super happy. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in another one very soon. Bye!